Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening today. Today is the 16th of June, year of our Lord 2025. Welcome to yet another edition of The Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Single, a.k.a. Motown Noah. Taping this on a Father's Day Sunday night. Happy Father's Day, everybody out there. I was going to say everybody out there who's celebrating. I guess that is probably the nice way to phrase it. What I actually meant was shout out to the dads of the Coping Hour. I hope you had a rocking day. Went to the park, saw a family having a nice get together, and the dad, who was seemingly in his mid-50s, shirt popped off, lawn chair out, jeans on, cooler open. That guy rocks. So that was probably like 8 hours ago that we saw that guy. And he's just out in the sun. Again, no shirt, blue jeans, beer in hand. Guy was great. He's got to be hammered by now. Imagine what that guy's saying right now to his wife and to his kids on Father's Day. The guy who will go no shirt and blue jeans at a park. And you're going to be like, well, that's a big city. Oh, wow, it's the big city. That's the experience. No, that's not really Chicago. I don't really think that's Chicago. I'm not denouncing the behavior, by the way. I'm saying that guy absolutely rocks. And that is somebody who I aspire to be. That level of dad. What was the most dad thing I did for Father's Day? I ate 2 hot dogs. I had some onions on them. And then watched golf all day, the entire day, the whole day. Even while we were out of the house, golf was still on inside of the house. I never turned it off. Had all 4 rounds of the U.S. Open on this weekend. From 9 a.m., whenever the first tees were this morning, to even through the weather delay. We're watching replays of the 2008 U.S. Open. Tiger Woods in his prime. Was it Pebble? Is it not Pebble Beach? Was it Torrey Pines? Watch that all the way through the weather delay, and then you got to watch a guy who I've literally never heard of in my life, JJ Spawn, win the U.S. Open. Okay, very cool, impressed. Very, very cool. I hope everybody out there had a good Father's Day. Once again, especially to the dads. I did have one quick little beef actually with Father's Day. One last note before we move on. For Mother's Day, I took a mental note when people would hold the door open for Maddie and they would say, Happy Mother's Day. And they would do nice things for her because it was Mother's Day. And that's a very, very nice thing to do when they can see that. That's the nice thing about being new parents, is parading your child around for the first time on a Mother's Day or a Father's Day. People will see the baby and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you're fucking frontline workers. It's amazing. People liked to roll out the red carpet for her on Mother's Day. And then Father's Day rolls around, and I don't know. Maybe I'm being unreasonable to ask for a free hot dog. One of them couldn't have been free. It's Father's Day. One of them couldn't have been free. I am not this. Listen, I know anytime people start saying the things that I'm saying, and they're like, "Look, I'm never this way." Usually, that's not true. you know what? I kind of am. I am a little bit this way. It's not really an entitlement thing. It's more like principle and scorekeeping. And so if we treated Mother's Day a certain way, now you also might be thinking, Nick, you didn't say that anybody gave Maddie free shit on Mother's Day. You said that they opened doors for her, or even held them open and just wished her Happy Mother's Day. And you're upset that you didn't get a free hot dog? I don't get how it's the same thing. Well, when you put it that way, it does make sense, unless you have a brain, because what I would say is, I don't know, fellas, let's get a ruling on this. What's the male equivalent of having a door held open for you? Now, it is very nice when somebody's 5 or 6 steps ahead of you and they hold a door open for you. It's very nice when somebody does that. It's just kind of like being a good person, right? But that's not really the reverse chivalry isn't really a thing that's expected. And so it doesn't make us feel the same way that it was I'm not saying, women swoon over a guy, but it is generally just the polite and respectful thing to do for your significant other. Right. It wouldn't matter to me though. I'm just saying this to say what I imagine, the very, very small dopamine rush that a woman may feel when a man, that she is attracted to, holds a door open for her. is the same small hit of dopamine that I get when somebody hands me a hot dog. And so what I am proposing is that on Father's Day, it is not really unreasonable to want that. I don't think so. I'm a man, and I live in the Midwest, and we basically own hot dogs in this country. Was watching Guy Fieri the other day, and he said some bullshit about, when you think about the West Coast, you think about like Southern California, you think about Mexican food. When you think about like Miami, you think about, I don't know, Cuban food, whatever he said. You think about Texas, you think about barbecue. When you think about New York City, when you think about the East Coast, you think hot dog. I'm like, whoa, flag on the play. Can we go to VAR? Can we check that out? Guy Fieri, the East Coast gets hot dogs? Fuck out of here. They can get pizza. I think Detroit style pizza is the best pizza. It's the best style of pizza in the world. I imagine I would feel similar about like true Sicilian style. I've just never had it before. I know they're not the same, but my brain will probably consume them the same way. So I imagine I would like that a lot. Just haven't had it. But I also know that is home cooking shit. Like me thinking that Detroit style pizza is the best, because I can understand why it's a very heavy pizza. You know, some people may not be into that. That's why some people like the New York style, is because it's a little bit lighter, right? I don't think I'm being biased when I say that a Coney dog is the best way to eat a hot dog. That's just the best way. By the way, the Midwest owns hot dogs. That's us, by the way. That's for real us in the United States of America. It's the Midwest. We get hot dogs. The East Coast can have pizza. Everybody else, I don't have, like, I literally do. What do they make up in the like the Pacific Northwest? Like a Klonopin milkshake, perhaps something like that. Father's Day, folks. Hope you had a good one. Hey, something weird happened in the NBA today while we were enjoying our Father's Day. Actually, we actually got our first trade. We got our first trade in what has been billed as not just a flurry of action this summer, but like a cascading avalanche of nonstop trades and player movement in the NBA. That is what the prophecy has been not foretold, because it hasn't happened yet. What Shams is telling us and what Brian Windhorst have been telling us constantly is that this is like, put your seatbelts on, because a lot of stuff is going to happen this offseason. So, okay. The first domino that, kind of started to, pick up some steam was the Kevin Durant stuff. Maybe we'll cover that a little bit later in the episode. Use the timestamps to your advantage there. Hey, it was not Kevin Durant. It was Desmond Bane. Whoa. Oh, okay. Memphis is trading Desmond Bane. Where's he going? He's going to Orlando, dog. Whoa. Okay, so Orlando kind of just decided, hey, we're not going to let a Kevin Durant or like a whoever hold up the market. Like, we're just going to say, we're going to dictate what we want. Nobody's made any moves yet. We're going to be the first ones to be like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not making the point effectively, but I hope I'm getting close enough that you get what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, what did Orlando give up? It did happen to be 4 first-round picks, and also an additional pick swap on top of that. Whoa, okay. Well, did they give up any players? Like important ones? No, not really. Okay, so Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Look, if you root for a team and KCP has played for your team, you are like familiar with what the experience like truly is, like when you are a fan of a team that he's playing for, man, there's just something that comes with it, and he's just a fun guy to have on your team, and you know what you're getting when you get him, and like, obviously not a star or like anything like he's just a guy that it's when you think about 3-and-D players in the NBA, I guess you would think about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, right? Like, he's been in the NBA doing the exact same shit that he's always been doing, and it's been like 10 years at this point. And so he's carved out a career being like the same guy everywhere. So like, that's cool, I guess. Left Denver, I think, was a Jeremy Grant situation where Denver offered him the exact same amount of money. I think that's what like Denver's communication on it was. And then wasn't it like KCP's wife or fiance, his partner, went on like Instagram and was like, actually, that's not true. They did not offer us the same amount of money as Orlando did. So maybe it wasn't true. I don't remember. Okay, so you just like get off of that money, I guess. Cole Anthony, yeah, another guy that had just sort of turned into, I don't want to say bad money or like a bad contract, but like I don't know, for a team that had been lacking an offensive punch. I mean, Cole Anthony, what, you know what I mean? So it's like, he wasn't exactly one of the players who was contributing to, like, when you think about Orlando, they've kind of just been spitting the tires for the last year and change, because it's like, okay, the Paulo thing works. He's amazing. The Franz Wagner thing works. He's good. And then after that, you're just kind of like, I don't like it. It's just kind of like a bunch of the same guy, like a bunch of bulldogs. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, and this isn't, I don't think this is a good analogy, but like, it's just the first one that came to mind. I don't even think I need to make this analogy. There's no, I don't think I don't know why. Just say it. Just fucking say it. It's like if you have two guys who can score the ball, and then your next 11 guys are Josh Hart. You're like, oh, okay, so like every now and then, like we'll get like a 3-point barrage from Jalen Suggs like once a month. Like, oh, okay, I guess maybe that's the piece of this now. Also, if you're Orlando, is like, so wait, so what's going on with Jalen Suggs? He wasn't the first one off of the board. If you're Orlando, like he wasn't one of the first. Okay, so I would imagine you're hanging on to, dog. Desmond Bane just got traded for 4 first-round picks. Huh? He makes $200 million. And so if you're like, I don't know, we're a team that has an offer. Our package is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 picks plus 1 swap. The best that could get me was Desmond Bane? Really? I don't know. Like, Mikal Bridges went for like 1 more pick. Like 1 more. A year and a half ago? How long ago was that? Almost 2 years ago? I don't know. What if you just like did a third of that package and got Anthony Simons? Is that not enough? It doesn't have to be enough, because then you still have all of your shit left over. And probably both of those players. Jordan Poole? We don't say very favorable things about him on the show, but like, 4 first-round picks. One of them belongs to Phoenix, plus a swap, plus 2 guys that you don't really need. That got you Desmond Bane. I don't think it could have gotten you Lauri Markkanen, but as far as the capital was concerned, you were probably good. It would have just been a matter of like, okay, what guys does Danny Ainge want? What guys does he want? Because everything else is good. Everything about they gave up their first this year, an unprotected in 26. I think that might be the one that's from Phoenix. 1 in 28, and then I think 1 in 30, and then I think, and then also the swap on top of it, right? That couldn't have gotten you Lauri Markkanen. I'm just I'm confused. I don't know. I don't get it. You know, a lot of the times I'll go on these tangents about things, and I'll shit on something for 10 minutes, and then one person will leave a comment, and it will be the exact perspective that I need. I'm saying this to say, like, Magic fan out there, what just happened? Why did this just happen? Really? No, everybody was on the board. Everybody in the league was on the board. Any player that you wanted to throw a dart, they were available. Nobody had made any trades yet, which, by the way, the finals aren't over. We can make trades? We can do that right now? I thought, since when? I thought this was, whatever. Okay, it's cool. It's fun. There's like a million days in between games for some fucking reason. We might as well just have like a random trade on a Father's Day. The U.S. Open was in the middle of a weather delay. Sure, why not? Why not trade Desmond Bane for 4 first-round picks, plus a swap, plus kid can't play himself, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, and Cole Anthony. Hey, so like, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What the fuck did Memphis just do? What just happened? I'm confused about, like, I say I'm confused. Dog, this is the only thing that I've seen, the only angle I've seen anybody talk about this, and as it relates to the Grizzlies. So what's going on with Ja and what's going on with Jaren Jackson Jr.? Isn't Jaren a free agent like next year? Because if I'm a Grizzlies fan right now, I look at this trade. Do I not just focus on the fact that they got 4 picks and they cashed in on our third option? What just happened? What's going on? Are they trading Jaren Jackson Jr.? I just don't know. Like, this trade doesn't do anything for them. And if I'm Memphis, okay, so our guys are Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. In this West, there just has to be something else. They have to just like leverage these picks into like a different trade. I really think that's what it has to be. Like it's like I'm so, I don't want to say sure, I'm so positive that that's what it is. But like I just really want to believe that that's what it is, to the degree that I'm not even like, if I've like reacted to this trade so far and like in the 2 minutes that I've talked about it, I'm going to take it back. I'm not reacting to it yet because I don't think this is done. I think they just set themselves up to do something else. Because there's no fucking way. In this Western Conference, if your 2 guys are Ja and Jaren and that's kind of it, you're gonna be the Bulls. You're gonna be the Bulls. And that's a pretty grotesque fate to be the Bulls in 2025. And I don't want to get too far off the beaten path here, but there's a report out there that the Bulls are trying to extend Billy Donovan. I just don't know if, like, I guess I don't think it's nothing when, like, you go 500 every year. But, like, if you contextualize it and you think about the rosters that Billy Donovan has had in recent years, and, like, I don't know, he's a floor raiser, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess I give the Bulls credit for just not doing the scapegoat thing and being like, oh, well, we stink and it has to be the coach's fault. You know what I mean? It's also interesting to me because it's like, I don't know how to make this point. They're so committed to be, it's got, you know what, and some of it probably is. The Reinsdorfs, I imagine just being like, whatever, who cares? Whatever. We make our money from branding, baby. I give a fuck about, the work is done. The work is done. The 10 years that we had 30 years ago will feed us for generations. Fuck the coach. I don't care who the coach is. Doug, how the Gar Pax lasted for how long in Chicago? How long were they in the front office? Forever? I'll take forever for $1,100 million, Alex. The fuck? Like my whole life? It would be very funny if I looked this up right now and it was like Garpax, 3.5 years. No, okay, but that's not, it was like 10, at least 8. I'll go 8. It was like 10, at least. What a crazy trade though. And to take it back to the Orlando side of this whole thing, like what, okay, so where does this put them then? What does this do for them? Maybe I've been a little bit harsh about Desmond Bane. I don't know. They needed a guy who could generate offense. Like, he's got really good 3-point numbers. That's cool. But I guess I just don't know how to contextualize it. And I also, I mean, you can't even do it yet. It was the first trade that was made. I mean, there's going to be, the Cavs could look not completely different. I'd be surprised if they look completely different, but the Cavs are probably going to look different. The Celtics are going to look dramatically different. I don't think the Bucks are. Well, the Bucks will look different. They might still have Giannis. It sounds like they'll probably still have Giannis, but the Bucks will still look different. The Pistons could look completely different. I mean, there's a team that I'm not. The Knicks. The Knicks could do something weird. The Pacers probably just gonna like be the Pacers for real. Probably just gonna like chill and be the Pacers. A lot of teams are gonna look different, and so I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse and make them drink some water or give them some lead or teach them how to fish or however the fuck the expression goes. Before we know literally anything, but I hate it. I hate it. Because it was 4 first-round picks. An unprotected swap. I'm not an unprotected swap. That doesn't make any sense. I just did a Mad Lib. I just did an NBA trade machine Mad Lib right there. A pick swap and 2 contracts that nobody cares about. For Desmond Bane, I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, I don't even think this is, I don't know if this is a fair point to make. I'm just going to say it out loud, though. I just don't think it is, but. Okay, so the Knicks did 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. Okay. That didn't work, though. That didn't work. That didn't work. I don't need to contextualize how it didn't work, but it didn't, though. That's such a dumb argument. Me. What do I want the Magic to do? Sit on their hands? Well, I don't know. If you're a Magic fan, would you not have rather them done that, actually? In this instance? If I'm a Magic fan, and just to bring it back to what I said earlier, this could have gotten you, like, so much else. Like, so much else. One of you left a comment on a community post that I had made about this. Something about, like, dog, this could have gotten you Trae Young. I don't think that's true. But how far off would it have been? 1 more swap? 2 more swaps? Change the players around? Like, how far? You know what I mean? I imagine they couldn't have gotten in on the KD thing. Maybe they wouldn't have wanted to have gotten in business with him. Maybe that would have been a weird fit with Paulo and Franz and KD. Maybe that's a weird fit. I don't know. And I say, you know what? And I did the whole spiel about Lauri Markkanen earlier. Maybe you could make the same argument. Maybe that's just not the type of guy that they want to go after. And a guy like Desmond Bane makes more sense, right? Can sneaky dribble a little bit. And, like, it's not really so much about, like, when you think about, like, Desmond Bane and his inside scoring, it's not about handles because he has the, obviously he's got the T-Rex arms. But it's just more of, like, the bowling ball-ness of Desmond Bane when he's at the rim. You know, you think about him through the lens of his three-point shooting, but I don't know what his numbers are at the rim, but I imagine they're pretty good, right? What's, like, his and one percentage? What am I actually asking? Because I don't know if and one percentage would actually be the thing for it. What I'm asking is, well, that's probably it. Like, I don't know. I'm not even asking, well, that would be free throw attempts. I was going to ask how many whistles he gets. I just imagine he has to get a decent amount. Can I tell you real shit? I don't know anything about Memphis. I don't. I just didn't care about the coaching drama. I thought it sucked that Taylor Jenkins got hoed. There's a good number of Grizzlies fans who would argue that he didn't get hoed. Maybe he didn't. The last time I really was locked in and gave a shit about the Grizzlies was when Dave Yeager was, like, crying. Or was he doing that for the Kings? No, he wouldn't have. There's no way he was doing that for the Kings because they weren't. I think it was in the playoffs, so it couldn't have been the Kings. Unintended shot. Sorry, Kings fans. You guys have broken that streak since, so, like, no harm, no foul. But it would have had to have been the Grizzlies. He was like, these players just care so fucking much, and I love them so much. And then the Grizzlies fired him. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. What do I know about Memphis? That data center that Elon built, that's fucking up the air in Memphis. He built it kind of just, like, overnight. And they have these, like, huge, like, methane generators running outside of this data center constantly. And the local residents were like, "Hey man, like these aren't registered with the not the FAA. Who would it have to be? Whatever three-lettered agency it would have to be, right? Like these aren't registered." And then like they didn't. There was no paperwork for it. And then Elon was like, "Oh, or whatever, Grok, or is it?" So it's for Grok, his little fucking supercomputer shit. But is the building? What's the build? It's not like an X building. What's the who? It doesn't matter. Okay. They were like, "Oh, well, there's like if there are 50 generators outside," they were like, "Well, we're only using like 3 of them." And then like just a local team of people put up like a thermal drone to call their bluff and be like, "Okay, well, we'll be able to see pretty clearly how many of these methane generators are actually running." And again, I don't remember what the exact numbers were, so it was less than 50, but arbitrarily, if there were 50 generators, it was like 37 of them were on. And so it's like, what the fuck? The air is just poisonous in Memphis. Literally nothing that they can do about it. I know more about that than I do about the Grizzlies. So imagine my surprise when this shit happened. It's the middle of a Father's Day, and Desmond Bane gets traded for 4 first-round picks. A team that, like, you kind of don't care about makes a trade with a team that you just kind of don't care about. And you're left with more questions than answers. Memphis isn't done. They're not done. Make me care about you, Memphis. Make me care. Gun to my head. Force me to do it. They got guys that I like. Jaren Jackson Jr., Spartan Dog. Jihadist Morant, potentially the funniest player in the NBA. Reddit was heavily conspiring. I don't think I'm buying any of this, by the way, but just to pass along the information, Reddit was heavily conspiring that the Grizzlies are just like done with Ja. Is there intel here that I don't know about? As like local reporters, like, has there been something that there's just no way I would have seen about this? Because if there was any public, I think I would have known. Like, haha, the gun stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't really think that would, it's not like, I don't know. It's not, I really don't think it's that big enough of a deal for that to have fractured the relationship. I don't know. That seems kind of, I mean, if they trade him, we'll know. We'll know then. But until then, weird trade. Hey, not the only weird trade, by the way, that happened in sports. Baseball heads. I don't know a ton about Rafael Devers, but I know that Major League Baseball just had their equivalent of the Luka trade. Like, for real. It's probably as close as you can get. It just so happens that they both happened in the span of 4 months. Rafael Devers, Red Sox. This is, I mean, how many years ago was it that they just gave up on Mookie Betts, like in sort of the exact same fashion? They were like, we gave Rafael Devers a $300 million contract, and that comes with strings attached, some spoken, others unspoken. And we did not feel like he was living up to whatever. And so we decided to, guess they didn't even shop him. They just kind of sent him away, and they got, I don't know. Was it prospects that they got? And baseball trades are so weird. Like, you don't get, like, people are starting to do the thing about Paul Skeens too. Because technically the timeline for the Pirates got a little messed up because he got called up in May. So it didn't count for something, but because he won Rookie of the Year, it counted as a full season of service instead of it not. So I don't know. So the timeline's shorter for the Pirates. The long and short of it is people are starting to do the Pirates going to trade Paul Skeens thing. If they do, imagine the Tigers swooping in on that. No, I don't know. Paul Skeens gets traded, and like a guy like him in the NBA would be like 7 first-round picks and like 1 good player and 2 bad contracts. Be a lot. It would cost a lot. Be like the Paul George trade to the Clippers. Like, it'd be a lot. No, but in the MLB, it'll be like 2 guys that you've never fucking heard of in your life. But because they're like top 50 prospects, it's like, well, we're just rolling the it makes sense. I understand. You just don't really see like 1-for-1 like blockbuster trades, or like the craziest one of my life was it was like Prince Fielder for Ian Kinsler straight up. That's a wild baseball trade. They're always so uninteresting. So painfully uninteresting. So much so that I pray Paul Skeens doesn't get traded. But yeah, Rafael Devers, Red Sox in the mud. Very, very funny stuff. Which is actually, this is a good time to do this. copinghoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description, wherever it is that you listen to this program. This one comes into us from Cooper. Cooper, welcome back to the show, brother. Subject line, Tigers. Hey, Nick. Have heard suspiciously little from you about the Tigers this year, despite them being incredibly good. Are you trying to avoid jinxing it, or just not deep enough in the season yet to get excited? Anyways, saw Scooble dominate today. Guy is insane. Yeah, Cooper went to see, he sent a picture. He got to see Scooble pitch the other day. Super sick. Dog, I've been so locked in this year. I've been so locked in. I was just on the phone talking about this earlier. I think this year, watching the Tigers is the most I've been into baseball since I was a kid. They're really good. They are so good and so much better than I thought they were going to be. I mean, light years better than I thought that they were going to be. My brother would constantly be like, they're not going to, I don't know. He would just always push back on me. And I was like, they didn't get bats. They just did not get enough bats. I was like, Gleyber Torres, blah, 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 blah. It's just not going to, I don't know. Not going to be enough bats. Turns out, I guess it didn't really need to, there didn't really need to be. The Alex Bregman thing did not happen. Thought it was going to happen. Didn't happen. Thought that was a pretty dark omen. No, I guess actually all we needed was for like Spencer Torkelson to fucking rule again and play like the number one pick. And also it doesn't hurt that Javi Baez has actually had some like hashtag El Mago moments this year on both sides of the ball, by the way. So it's not even that Javi Baez isn't swinging at everything. I mean, there's a slider in the opposing dugout, and Javi's chasing it. He's throwing the damn bat at it. God forbid he makes contact, and I guess I was going to make a joke about him running the baseline. That was actually the Pirates who were stupid in that situation. It was Javi who was smart. So never mind. I'm not going to make fun of Javi for that. But he's not chasing everything, right? His swing rate is down. Is that the stat for it? Baseball heads out there. On defense, dog, like in spring training, they were putting him in center field, and I was like, maybe I just don't know. I was like, I didn't know he could do that. I thought he was just an infielder. And then no, like he just will sometimes play in the outfield and like has been good at it this year. I don't know. Maybe if you delve into the stats, the real baseball numbers, he's not a high percentage good defender. I don't know. I've seen him make some good plays out there though. And so it's not even just him. It's not even just Javi, and it's not Spencer Torkelson. It's also like, what if Casey Mize is like, oh yeah, I was the number one pick in the draft. Like, what if he rules? Jackson Jobe, Tommy John. Nah, that stinks. He was kind of I don't know how to say this without just like sounding mean. He was kind of like the one guy though that like wasn't really working out this year. Just wasn't really working. I know he's super young. He had a start earlier this year. I think it was literally like his second start. It was maybe against Minnesota. I mean like literally April. It was maybe against Minnesota on the road. I think he went 6 scoreless, and it was like, whoa. And then the rest of the year, I think he just kind of, just got shelled, and then he's got Tommy John. That really stinks. That really stinks. Tigers have been amazing, and you know, Cooper got to see Scooble pitch. I mean, my brother actually, here's a fun little anecdote. My brother got to meet Scooble like 2 weeks ago. My brother lives here in Chicago, and he works at the Barstool office. And Tarek Skubal came in to do an interview with Pardon My Take like a week or two ago at this point, and my brother was obviously there. And he got to take a picture with Skubal, and he sent it. It's so cool, so cool. Sent me a video of like one of his coworkers like took a video of him walking up to Skubal and like introducing himself and like dapping him up. And so I was like, wow, that's sick that you have a video of you dapping up the American League Cy Young and the Triple Crown winner and like a soon-to-be, $300 million man? How much is Tarek Skubal going to get paid? What do you think? 10 for 275? I like 12 for 320. I'll go 12 for 500. I don't care. Tarek Skubal pitched to Maddox 2 weeks ago. Last pitch to complete the complete game shutout was 103 miles an hour. It was like technically like 102.6 or some bullshit, but 103 miles an hour. We're rounding up on this show. 103 on the gun. Sick, disgusting, horrible freak. I think it's changed maybe as of this taping, but like his last 10 starts, Tarek Skubal's last 10 starts for the Detroit Tigers. Dog, his ERA is like a 1.6. He's got like 90 strikeouts and 3 walks. What the huh? Huh? What's going on? What's going on there? I didn't think in my entire life, honestly, I didn't think I would ever see a pitcher in Major League Baseball, let alone a guy that plays for my favorite team, be the best pitcher I've ever seen in my life, the way that Justin Verlander was for so many years. And it doesn't hurt that it was during my childhood, and so you just sort of hold those memories a little bit more fondly, and you hold them in a sort of different light. So it's like a really hard, sort of like pinnacle to reach for, like, I don't know, for other pitchers in my eyes. Like, to me, Verlander is the standard, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. When I watch Tarik Skubal pitch, I really don't know sometimes. And you could not make the argument yet. You couldn't do it. If you want to just say, Verlander won a Triple Crown, I think. I'm pretty sure he did. I don't know how many Cy Youngs he won. I have no idea. Did Verlander like win an MVP? It wouldn't surprise me if he did. I don't think he did, but I don't know. I guess it wouldn't have been him. It would have been like Miguel that was winning them, I guess, anyways. I don't know. What's the easiest metric I could use? No hitters. Verlander had 2. He threw one against the Brewers, and then he threw one against the Blue Jays. Skubal doesn't have any no hitters. No, I don't think that's the metric, but I'm just saying that is one of them that you can use, and I just don't think. But I don't know, man. I talked to my brother about this a little bit. We're kind of on the same page. It's probably gonna be by the time this thing's all done with Tarik Skubal, hopefully in 15 years when we've paid him $600 million, he will be the best pitcher that we as Detroit sports fans have ever seen. Ever. So good. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. They're not just like having a good year. They're the best team in baseball. Period. I think it was like maybe a month ago at this point. The Dodgers had just got swept by the Angels. I think it was on the road. I think it was in Anaheim. I texted my brother. I was like, hey, Matthew, I was like, you're the baseball guy. I was like, can you just fact check me on this? I go, was it the Tigers that just got swept by the Angels? And he was like, no, that's a good question. People are getting that confused. That was actually the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I was like, wait a minute. So then so they're not the best team in baseball? So who is? Who's at the top of the standings? And he goes, that's also a really good question. That's actually the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, man, that's kind of just like been the season. They just like keep winning series and after series after series. Gleyber Torres started the season on my shit list. There's just something about him that I really, really like. Really miss Akil Baddoo. I always ask my brother, I go, so what's the problem with him that why can't he play on this team? I guess he's not good. That's what they're saying. They're saying Akil Baddoo's not good, and that's why he's not allowed to play. That's really too bad. That's really frustrating. There was your Tiger segment, folks. I know you guys have been really waiting for that one. Gotten a lot of comments, a lot of emails about that. Why aren't you talking about the Tigers? I don't know. Honestly, I just kind of kept forgetting to do it. I've really, really been checking them out, man. Like, even when I don't watch the games, I will, the same way I do for like soccer games, I will watch the extended cut on YouTube. And I don't know, you literally just get to see, it's just, I don't know, still get to see all the action. Let's do more emails. copingoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this program. This one picks up on a segment we did a couple days ago. Episode or two ago, we did a segment about, we just covered the whole like Halaban thing and how quickly that went from like underground to like cultural phenomenon. The Halaban hive. And I kept trying to, I spent a minute or two trying to figure out like who works for the Mujahideen. And that's what this email is chiming in on. Just a little quick one here from Lorraine. Lorraine, welcome to the show. First time emailer potentially, or at least on the show, I think maybe. Subject line, Pascal Siakam. Dear Mr. Motown, in reference to the Mujahideen nickname, I would like to propose Pascal Siakam. That is all. Lorraine, thank you very much for this. Pascal Siakam. I think we gotta allow it. I don't know. That's pretty good. It's probably the closest you're gonna get. I mean, the one that I had off the cuff, Joel Embiid is what it was. First of all, pat myself on the back. That was probably the closest I was ever gonna get, and I did it. That was the first one I did. I wouldn't have gotten to Pascal Siakam. Is that how you say it? Pascal Siakam? Yeah. I wouldn't have gotten there. I like it though. It's creative and deserves it. Pascal Siakam right now, very much having a moment. Very much having like a look, I don't know. To be honest with you, maybe you've looked at the timestamps and you're like, damn, he didn't do anything about the finals. Not really. Not really. Well, I don't know. Maybe I am about to do something about the finals. Whoa, that's crazy. That's just how this show goes, dog. I went into it being like, I'm not going to talk about the finals. Here I am. I'm about to talk about the finals. Okay, game 4 happens. And Oklahoma City has no business being in the game, but they just are the whole time. There are 7 minutes left in the game. They've hit 3 3-pointers the whole game. 3. They're down by like 5. Huh? What's going on? The extender himself, Scott Foster, was officiating in this game. There were a lot of free throws. But not like, I'm not saying that in like the, oh man, so many whistles. But no, it was a really physical game. And I don't know what the disparity ended up being. Like, I don't know was it like Oklahoma City like +5, and I don't know what it was. Whatever it was, I don't think it was egregious though. It wasn't until 40 seconds left in the first half of game 4 of the NBA Finals that Tyrese Halliburton took his first free throw attempt. What? Tyrese Halliburton, point guard for the Indiana Pacers, played 3.5 games in the NBA Finals and didn't go to the line? He didn't get hacked once. Really? It's not that crazy to think about it. Like, I don't know. He do kind of just be like, from like 40 feet, you know, and like stepping back and like nobody's really around him, you know. His jumper does have a lot of like, in it. When he takes those step backs, like it's the way that, man, the mechanics, look, I'm not here to do 5 minutes on Tyrese Halliburton's mechanics. A, they work, and B, that's hack material. Everybody did it 5 years ago when he was at Iowa State. But it does look like you can physically hear him give out a little whenever he puts up those shots. Hadn't been to the line for 3.5 games. Okay, the long and short of this is, listen, I watched this game, so I did the homework for you, okay? Let me just tell you what happened. Oklahoma City won the damn game. And I realized something in that moment, that I'm not rooting for them. I don't know what happened. I thought I was rooting for a good series. I'm not. I think it's going to go 7. And I think that it's crazy. You think you're playing a 7-game series. 1 minute you think you're playing a 7-game series. And then after 2 games, you're playing a 5-game series. You're even at 1. You're playing a 5-game series. After 4 games, 5 games? After 4 games. 4 games, it's 2-2. Fuck. We're in a 3-game series. Wait. Yeah, we're in a 3-game series now. We went from playing 7 games to 3 games. This new format of the NBA Finals is insane. We have 3 games left. Best of 3. Best of 3. I'm getting my wires crossed here. Oklahoma City gets to play 2 damn games at home. Everybody spends 4 days, because that's how many, we have 3 days. 3 days between games. Talking about, oh, how crazy would it be if Oklahoma City blows this? Just for them to, like, not blow it. Damn it. Shoot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that I just have really started to, I cannot imagine what it's going to like feel like if Indiana wins a championship. I cannot imagine. I have no idea. That's crazy. That surpasses like, whoa, Milwaukee won a championship? Like, whoa. Toronto won a championship? Like, whoa. Both of those titles have a very special place in my heart, right? Very, very fun titles. I will always remember them fondly. Very, very cool for both franchises, Toronto and Milwaukee, right? Two franchises, by the way, that don't like each other and have had beef. Both of them beating up on each other on their way to their paths to the finals. Not Milwaukee didn't play Toronto that year. I'm just saying the trials and tribulations of Milwaukee's journey eventually getting over the hump and winning a championship. Didn't they lose? They got the shit kicked out of them against Toronto in the year that Toronto ended up winning the championship, right? So that was part of their journey, and so yada, yada, yada. Well, actually, now in that sort of way, Milwaukee got the shit kicked out of them. Not really. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of it was the first round sucked. They were in some of those games. Whatever. I don't care. Let's not do River. It doesn't matter. Milwaukee sort of passing that torch on to Indiana this year, and maybe Indiana gets to have one of those like, oh my God, like in 20 years we look back and be like, what happened that year? What happened that year that Indiana won a championship? Even if they do have a really good team, you would think about Halliburton in the context of players. Like, I don't want to say like, is he like one of the worst best players on a championship team ever? Worst best player on a championship team ever. I don't think that would be Halliburton. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that conversation would happen. I don't want to say that because A, I don't believe it, and B, because then that's bulletin material. That's like how Tyrese Halliburton, most overrated player in the NBA, by the way, as voted on by his peers in an anonymous poll that was hosted by The Athletic, administered by The Athletic. Bullshit, right? I don't want to do that. Oh, and I got one more thing. I got one last thing about the NBA Finals. Listen. Advertising is a dirty business. I get it. And sometimes you got to shake hands with people and collect checks that you're not proud of, NBA. I get it. I hear you. I really do. I promise I hear you, okay? But I just don't think we should be putting, like, Air Emirates shit on, like, NBA Cares shirts that were, like, you know what I mean? Something about that feels weird. Listen, I know that, so, okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the NBA will do these packages, you know, at, like, halftime of an NBA game or, like, you know, during a TV timeout. Oh, and before Game 5 of the NBA Finals, Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers, they visited this hospital with all these little kids, and they'll show the kids, you know, they're wearing these NBA Cares shirts, and they're doing, like, relay races and, like, basketball drills and shit like that. And, like, it's cute, right? But like, when I see, like, NBA Cares and, like, just the Emirates logo, listen, any logo that you put next to NBA Cares, you could probably do a deep dive on that company's history and find some shady shit, and you know what I mean? But, like, feels a little bit different. I feel the same way every time I see any of the teams play in Europe. They have, like, the air, you know, the damn Emirates or the Qatar Airways or whatever the fuck. I always think the same thing. It just makes a little bit more sense with them because those teams are literally owned by those same guys, right? So the NBA, though, isn't, or maybe it is. It might be. It looks like it might be. I think get ready to learn Saudi, buddy, because I think that's what I think that's what's happening in the NBA. The reason that Adam Silver is being so bullish on NBA expansion is because they're going to put the new expansion team in the Line. You know, that city is that in Saudi Arabia? In Neom? Is that where that's supposed to be? The Line. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're going to build an arena in there, and construction on there is just it's so damn expensive. We thought 300,000 people were going to live here, and now it's like 10,000. We got to be able to host a basketball arena. We have to be able to support a basketball franchise out here in Saudi Arabia. Adam Silver is sweating bullets. Right now, the NBA has gone full Saudi on us, ladies and gentlemen. copingoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description, wherever it is that you listen to this program. Another NBA email here, actually. We'll stick to the NBA. This one comes into us from Jamal. Jamal, welcome back to the show. Subject line, NBA players in movies. We need more NBA players in movies. We don't have a new face of the league because none of them have been in movies. LeBron, KD, and Steph are the current faces of the league, and 2 of them were in movies, and the other one changed the game. Anthony Edwards is the front runner for face of the league, and he has that because he was in a movie. If Tatum was in movies, maybe he would have aura. Imagine a movie where a kid gets the powers of Shea and averages 100 free throws in the NBA, and Shea starts working at McDonald's. People will love it. That was Jamal's entire email. I gotta be honest with you. I think that email is fucking brilliant. I think he's exactly right. I think he's 100% right. I don't know. LeBron did Trainwreck, that Bill Hader, Amy Schumer movie from like 2014. That was a kind of a big deal when LeBron, like, whoa, LeBron's in a movie. That got people to the theater. That was a thing. That like got people to go see like LeBron. That was a thing. Yeah, I'm gonna give him that. That's a real thing. KD did Thunderstruck. I never saw Thunderstruck, but I do know that it is a movie that like the people that really like, I don't want to say identified with it, like it's a real piece of like art or culture. Thunderstruck, with the lead actor, Kevin Durant. No, I know people really like it though, right? Like almost like a cult classic. People really like Thunderstruck. Okay, you guys maybe just really have to be a Thunder fan or like really like Kevin Durant. I'm sure it's a shitty movie, but like, you know, and like the same way that I think Space Jam sucks because it actually sucks. But like for some people, that's kind of the charm of it, right? It's like Doctor Who, like a lot of episodes, like, well, not just episodes, but like a lot of, from like 2005 to like 2013, it was so fun because like, the appeal of Doctor Who is that even since, you know, back in the fucking 60s, like the appeal of it is that the special effects kind of suck. Like sometimes that's kind of charming is when it like looks dumb or like whatever the fuck, right? So I'm spending a little bit too much time on this for a movie that I literally never saw. People like Thunderstruck. Steph's done stuff. He's done movies. He just recently did a show. It came out, like it was releasing concurrently with the Olympics, I think. So, like, it was like a mini series. I don't know. Steph did a show called, I don't know what it's called, but it's on Peacock and it's funny. Like, it's a funny show. It's actually a good show. And Steph is like, yeah, he's an actor. Like, he's an athlete actor, I mean, and like, he sounds like it's not that good, but like, it's fun. Like, I don't know. It's a funny show. I just wish I remember what it was called because it's a really good show. And it's only like 6 episodes. The episodes are short. It's funny, and I actually think it's worth your time, honestly. I really, really thought it was good. I don't know who's doing stuff in the NBA these days. Who's like doing movies, not TV. Who's doing movies? Anybody can go on a podcast, bro. But like, who's in the pictures? You know what I mean? Anthony Edwards. He did Hustle with Adam Sandler. A movie, by the way. Those are really good. Hustle is like one of the better basketball movies that I've ever seen, where it's like the basketball itself isn't like choreographed and like dumb, you know, like they're actually just kind of hooping and they're just like, and like, sure, like dudes will let them like blow by or like, you know what I mean? But yeah, they're like acting, but like they're hooping, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm not going to shit on Coach Carter, but like, you know what I mean? Otherwise, Coach Carter is probably the best basketball movie if I can't pick Hustle, which Hustle might not even be the best. I don't think it is, but Anthony Edwards as Kermit Willis. He plays the heel in that movie. Kermit Willis. Anthony Edwards is the bad guy in that movie. And he does a really good job because he's just kind of like Anthony Edwards, but like but there's like a different gear to him. You know what I mean? Like imagine if Jason Tatum showed up in the Minecraft movie. People would have lost their minds. And I really think that there would have been like an uptick in like, I don't want to say Gen Alpha or Gen whoever the fuck, like loses their mind and like is like, it's almost like a K-pop hive of 9-year-olds for Jason Tatum or something like that. I think he's right. Maybe he was being a little tongue-in-cheek, but Jamal sending in this email. I don't think it's, like, I don't know. How can you be the face of the league if, like, you don't, like, be showing your face outside of the league? You know what I mean? Anthony Edwards is kind of the only one that has. He does Adidas commercials. Like, commercials are cool. But unless you're doing, like, State Farm commercials, right? You have, like, a Chris Paul style role. Or, like, an Aaron Rodgers role with State Farm, right? Like Peyton Manning with, is it Chase or Capital One? I guess it's not good branding because I don't fucking know which one it is. But I know Chris Paul, not AKA, but / Cliff Paul, State Farm, right? I guess Steph does, like, it's not the same thing because the point is that Steph, like, actually does stuff. Steph doing, like, degree commercials, does that count? I don't think that counts. That doesn't count because that's still, like, an athletic product. I think it counts when he does a commercial when he does, like, the Chase Cashback Unlimited card commercial with, like, Kevin Durant and somebody else. I'm not Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. I meant Kevin Hart and, like, somebody else. That counts, but you're not a spokesperson. You're just, like, in the commercial. You know what I mean? That's not the same thing. You have to be the spokesperson. If you're going to do TV, you have to be the spokesperson, or else do a movie, or else you're not the face of the league. Jamal, that was a really, really good email. What else do I got for you guys today? Went to turn off my PS5. Went to turn off the U.S. Open to come tape the show. And then saw, like, an ad for, like, a Fortnite Father's Day event. And they were like, come get all of the new dad skins. And it was the Hank from King of the Hill. It was Cleveland. And then there was one more guy. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was, like, American Joe from American Dad. Whatever that guy's name is. American Joe. Whatever the guy's name is. The dad from Stan from American Dad. And I was like, what a crazy game this has become. And this is not, like, a novel observation. I think we have all at some point in the last 5 years kind of just looked at our Fortnite account and been like, whoa, I went really hard. I looked at it, I don't know, like 2 months ago for the first time in years. And the amount of skins from, like, 2000, I don't know, 18 maybe? It couldn't have been 17. It was 18 or 19. I was like, dog, I have, like, I was there, like, boots. Dude, I was so there with Fortnite. Like, before, I don't want to say, like, before anybody else, but, like, dog. Dog, I dumped so much money into that game. And it's just crazy. It's crazy because when you think of it as a kid's game, because, like, it's not a kid's game, but, like, it kind of is in the way that, you know, like, okay, if you think about a game like Fortnite or a game like Roblox is another one, or like Minecraft, what's interesting to me is, like, maybe games were like this when I was a kid and I just, like, wasn't aware of it and, like, wasn't looking at it this way. But this new phenomenon, or at least I'm viewing it as new, of, like, the aforementioned games being games that, like, have games within them. So, like, sandbox games, right? Like Roblox. I don't know what the fuck goes on in Roblox. I don't understand what that game is. I have an 11-year-old sister-in-law. I've watched her play Roblox 100 dozen times. I don't understand. I've played with her. I don't understand what's going on in there because there's just, like, so much that you can do, right? Like Fortnite's turned into the same thing where, like, dog, you can, like, race. And you're, like, living in, like, you're, like, playing The Sims, like, Lego style. There's, like, a city, and, like, you're doing, like, 2K, like, the park, but you're just, like, walking around in, like, a Lego Fortnite. What the fuck is this? What's going on with this game? What's going on with this game? So it's the shit like that you're like, wait, so this is marketed to kids? And then you're like, but then you check the item shop, and Fortnite's like, oh, but look at our new collaboration. Look at our new Scooby-Doo collaboration. It's big-tittied Velma. And you're like, what the fuck? This is for a 9-year-old? And they're like, no. Epic Games is like, no. Big-titted Velma is not for a 9-year-old. That's disgusting. That's why we have Scooby-Doo. Velma's for the adults. With our new Unreal Engine 5 physics, you will get to see real-time physics of our players. What's the delicate word here? I'm already being crass. I'm talking about big titty Velma. That's not cool to do that on Father's Day. That's not cool at all to do that. That's not cool. Honestly, though, you want to talk about, speaking of girls, you want to talk about the girls. Maddie and I were talking about this. The girls are not happy with Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter on the hot seat for women. I decided unilaterally today that Maddie, is my girlfriend, is the mother of my child, is the president of the girls who listen to this show. I, of course, have adopted the responsibility of being not just the president of the boys who listen to the show, but also this is gender affirming program. I'm also Maddie and I will share responsibilities for the non-gender conforming listeners of the show. And then I am also the chancellor. I can overrule anything that Maddie wants to say about on behalf of the girls. I can overrule any of that shit. But anyways, I'm saying this just to say, ladies who listen to the show, if you haven't had a chance to see that new Sabrina Carpenter album cover, she announced a new album. The cover has stirred up quite the stir. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it's basically just like her being like submissive with a man, and I think she's on a leash, and she's like on all fours, and she looks a little roughed up, and like, but in like the way that it's like, ooh, you know what I mean? Okay, so she's on a leash, and it's like she's, okay. So it's like if there was ever any doubt that Sabrina Carpenter's music is like sort of the male gaze personified, which is fine. I mean, it's pop music, whatever, but like it just kind of is what it is. This, I think, album cover was sort of a little bit too on the nose for people. And so people were a little bit like, girl, like really? Like we just had Sydney Sweeney selling bathwater for $350 a bar plus shipping. And now you're doing this shit. Like you're setting women back. And Maddie's response to this was that she rolled her eyes and she said that they're being fucking stupid. She's like, I don't like Sabrina Carpenter, but that's very fucking stupid. I said, whoa. That's interesting. So, ladies, if you took exception to Sabrina Carpenter's new album cover, and you think maybe she's giving women a bad rap, I would just like to let you know the president of women on this show said that it's not a big deal and that you should get over it and stop being a baby. That's what she said. That's what she said. If I called her in here right now, I'm embellishing. I don't want her to come off as if she is bullying the women. Actually, it's Father's Day. I don't want to do that. I added that at the end. Even if I actually kind of think maybe there's some merit to it, that maybe she is. Maybe it isn't sort of the best time to... Listen, there's nothing wrong with being a heterosexual pop star. We need them in our culture. We need them. And right now, but Maddie had a good point, honestly. She was like, this is how you create like a Taylor Swift, who is the most popular artist in the world, but is the most boring person in the world because she can't show any personality. Because the second that she does, this is what motherfuckers will do. And that's what they did do to Taylor for a very, very long time. And they still do, but she doesn't. It's for different reasons, right? I thought that was a good point by her. But okay, folks. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I love you. Love you guys. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, what's up? What's up? What's up? If you're watching this on YouTube, sure to leave a like, subscribe, nice little comment for the algorithm. Make sure to keep primary control in check. And I will catch you guys in the next one.